Dewi Abodnuri, as a management consultant, has joined us. David Dadewi Abodnuri, management consultant and coach, has joined us to discuss the 180 billion palliative fund for the 36 states. Dewi, good morning. It's a pleasure having you on our program.
Yes, thank you very much, Dikin. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Uncle
Good
to
Good
morning,
us
sir.
observe.
morning. You're welcome.
Good to be here again. I've
Well,
been listening to you
the
guys.
federal government says it's giving out this 180 billion palliative fund for 36 states, and well, they also did say that it actually will be a loan, not just a palliative fund. But whatever it is, first and foremost, what do you think of this idea?
Yes, again, some things make me excited. Number one, we've had presidents in this country that is stimulus equals zero. There's no amount of pinging, there's no amount of hooting and crying. The person just goes mute. We also have a country where there is a communication gap between the political rulership and leadership and the people. So we are having responses.
Yeah.
There is, when you're touching a patient, signals are coming back. So that's exciting for me. So level one is that there's the feeling that the government is thinking. That's very positive for me. And the second bit is that somebody is thinking administration and management, so they've gone to the states. That's some decentralization and dechunking.
Yeah.
We must break this big meat pie called Nigeria from a management perspective into smaller entities that can be managed. Now that's just two out of about 10 layers of civilization or sophistication. The problem is that this is not the first time we have changed this kind of palliatives. I mean, we had palliatives that we found during COVID in warehouses, Indomie.
Yes.
So an economy and a behavioral pattern where people could hoard Indomie, rice, and salt. How are you going to now give them 180 billion? What is the system and mechanism that will make the money touch the live wire of the economics of the people? Is it the agency of the state governor and his cronies, or which apparat or ministries of finance? Also, in an economy where we don't know who is a Nigerian and who is from Niger Republic, because it's bike they used to cross over. How do we validate who will get the money? How will it be spent? And then you are now saying it's a loan. A loan of what? So some things, and that's why I always empathize with the man in the rock and his team. This this large entity has been given, has had so many levels of systematic fraud. A friend of mine said we are a cacophony of a lot of interesting lies. But let's leave that as it may. So there's a structure problem, that how will that money be administrated?
Yeah.
Then in Nigeria, what is 180 billion? The money sounds big until you begin to divide the numbers.
Right.
Do some small mathematics. 180 billion is a phantom. How many Nigerians do we have in each state? Let's divide the money. What will touch each person's hand? Then you begin to think that, are these people thinking, or are they just deceiving us? Reduce the cost of governance, deal with systemic corruption. But because I'm a management, let me just give quick solution to the government about to distribute this. Make the process transparent. Although I've seen transparency in Nigeria become opaque. When you decide to be transparent, there are people with institutionalized criminal minds, and they will still find a way of, stealing or taking advantage of that transparent process.
Yeah.
But make the process of this money transparent. Make accountability strong. Then I'm sorry, I don't trust the apparatuses of the current administration. I mean, is it not the CBN government we are discussing? That is the apex chief check officer, the one
Yes.
who executes. And we are dealing with billions done on a daily basis from his table. So what is the state governor? I mean, I'm just worried about how the money will be distributed. And 180 billion is a joke as a number, but at least somebody's when you complain to your uncle you don't have money, he still puts hand in his pocket to give you stories. At least he's listening. It's a good
Yes.
sign because we have persons in this country that don't listen. There's nothing you say. Shout it tomorrow. You just not say anything. So this is a good one.
Okay, so like you said, we also looked at that aspect of the sharing. For me, the sharing formula. It was said because it's a palliative, so I'm giving, like they'll say in the military, blanket, just do normal round the service and the same amount. Well, I'm looking at it in the different dimensions. Could there also be a way, a means of sharing this money according to, according to the level? Everybody has his own level economically. You can't, like I said, you can't compare a Lagos state or an Akwa Ibom state based on what they receive from the federal allocation to a Taraba state, or maybe it could just be the one that is in, whether it's in Zamfara or even Nasarawa. How will they do these things? What are the best ways? Because we're looking at not just the problem before us, but now we're thinking of solutions. The right solutions. Because I'm concerned the people that will be in charge of sharing these monies, apart from the state governors, it's going to be the state ministry for finance, the ministry for finance, the accountant general, the accountant general of the states. How will it happen down to the local government chairman, the councillors of the ward? Will it even get to the right people, Seth? In all of the fairness.
And sorry, maybe I may just add a little to what Paul had said. Population-wise, Lagos is bigger than Ube or Adamawa.
Yes.
Kano, Lagos, you can't compare the population of Kano and Lagos states to some other states. How will this be evenly distributed? Thank you.
It's a very interesting question, interesting posit that you've actually both put together. There are a lot. I said Nigeria is a country of a lot of inequalities. That's what I'm looking for. We have very big land masses in some states and few human beings, just a lot of cattle. If they've been there physically before. And there are very choked land masses within our geopolitical zones that contain a lot of human beings. And there are places where there's a lot of water. The question is, apart from population, apart from the density of people in that place, which is also population in quotes, there's also the economic dynamics of each of those states.
Yes.
There are states where economically they are more riverine. And there are states where there's more arable land. And then there's states where there's a lot of land and then a lot of cattle. So the economic dynamics of each of those states differ. So what is the science behind just dividing everything and just giving everybody divided by 36? Those are the things that make it curious, and I say something through needs to happen.
Yeah.
Then I'd said it before, let us break this national entity down into, for management purposes, regions. And let's manage success at the regions. And let the federal energy, the financial cost of governance at the federal level is El Dorado. It's too big, too behemoth. It's consuming. The cost of governance is killing us. You see, it's not a one-off palliative that makes an economy succeed or fail. You're taking 600 and something naira, probably going to 700 and something naira from people's pocket per liter every single day. You give them palliative. In 6 months, they'll forget the palliative. Poverty happens $1 a day, £1 a day, or a naira a day. Same for wealth. It's $1 a day, a naira a day. It doesn't happen. You give them palliative. In 12 months, the palliative is palliated.
Deoye, a second, please. Ifeanyi from Abba has joined us. I think he wants to make a contribution. Ifeanyi, good morning. Ogedeoye, please continue.
Yes. So it's a matter of, in about 12 months now, the people that will collect this, or the economists, the economic base, wherever these palliatives touch, maximum 2 years, a cycle is done. What is the systematic way that we will use to drive the economy forward in a systematic manner? We have some states where there are a lot of minerals. Ondo State, all the states in Nigeria have one mineral or the other. Now, those are amazing stuff. How do we create industries for productivity? Don't just drop money at people. Now, I don't want to be a critique of the, because I understand the challenge of the government. It's just that the current supporters of this administration are too, maybe they are reacting to all the criticisms. They are typically not very calm to listen to productive engagement. I empathize with Mr. President what he has narrated, but you should remember that people gave him this mandate believing that Mr. Magic, there are different conversations that he did it in Lagos. He's the big architect of Lagos. He built Lagos, whatever. And now, okay, he has the seat now. What will he do?
It's well.
Yes. Okay. I think I will just ask this question, because when we talk about, of course, the 180 billion naira that will be given to every to overall, right?
That'll be shared.
Yeah, that will be shared. I have a lot of questions in my mind because, first of all, we're dealing with inflation right now, exchange rate as well, and literally now the average earning power of Nigerians has shrunk, to a large extent. How do you think this would impact the economy overall? And do you think this is a wise decision?
Sorry, Mary. Sorry, please. A second. Deoye, Ifeanyi is back. Let's just quickly take Ifeanyi before you respond to Mary's question. Ifeanyi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
It's a pleasure having you in our program.
I'm glad to be here. Deacon, I like what you guys are doing. Pastor Inka, Pastor Ann, well done.
Thank you.
And the ambassador.
Thank you, sir.
And of course, Mary.
Thank
Mary,
you.
you guys are doing a great job. I'm enjoying the show this morning, especially because of the topic. I also want to commend Deoye calling from the UK. I always look forward to his analysis. It's always on point.
Thank you,
I
sir.
want to say that I'm not an economist, but I think this government should retrace their steps, probably start counting some steps backward, maybe remove this subsidy because it is biting too hard on the people and the people are suffering, and try to fix the economy first. And by the economy, I'm talking about the refinery. Try to fix the refinery. Let us stop this stabbing ourselves in the foot and say, I'm feeling pain. The knife is still there. You're the one that put it there. And we are crying pain. Remove it and start treating it. This is my contribution this morning. And then secondly, I think the ministers, the idea, maybe we need to do something about our constitution that allows former governors that have served for 8 years and they move from governorship to senatorial and go there and, what are we doing? Are we joking or what? Are we ready to move this government forward or what? I don't have to be a governor. And I believe sincerely that there are people out there, Nigerians right here in Nigeria, that can do better than these governors have done. So we need to start thinking forward. When we have made a mistake, yes, I'm not a fan of this government, but nonetheless, this is affecting everybody. I want him to succeed because by making the right decisions, it will make life better for me, whether I voted for him or not.
Yeah.
But right now, it's not happening. Can he just humbly retrace their steps and try to do things, be proactive, not reactive now? You can't remove subsidy before thinking about palliative. It is wrong. It is not done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Fine.
so much. Deoye, what do you think?
Yes, yes. And the question that the pastor asked is a very, very powerful one. And for Ifeanyi, thank you so much, Ifeanyi. Because I'm a believer, I can't buy you a bottle of cold beer at mortuary atmospheric temperature and pressure. So I will send you maybe a can of Coke or something. You hit some very heavy points there. Let us have at least 1,000 refineries licensed in Nigeria, and they should be accelerated. Mini refineries accelerated. Listen to me. You see, we are bleeding in a systematic way. You are giving cash. Now it doesn't work that way in economics. We have right now. I came across a piece of data. I don't know the source of it, but listen to the gist. 50%, if let's say 100 barrels of crude is what is being sold in the black market out of Nigeria, what officially is on the table is 50. The crude market is also 50. So it is 50, it's the same amount. What goes out through the black market is 50%. What comes through the system is 50%. Now that's law of bleeding because we don't have capacity to refine. We are bleeding, our minerals are being taken away. We have every single mineral on earth in Nigeria. All the 36 states of Nigeria have one mineral or the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are the kinds, fixed productivity, quickly, have a 2-year plan. The other thing is that there are foreign development initiatives that come on the ground and they have 24-month plan. They enter the economy and they begin to produce. Let us be able to produce. What about food? We can easily be one of the biggest food producing economies in Africa. The idea of just doling out cash to do what? To enter at where? The money is just going into some people's pockets. It's an attempt and a ruse to make some other people rich. We also have governance that is behemoth and big, very big, phantom, but on the ground is not delivering value. Those are the
Okay.
challenges that we need to fix.
Deoye, second, Julius has joined us from Warri. Julius, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good
morning.
morning.
And good morning to everyone there.
Yeah.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Okay, just like my brother calling from UK, he said something. You're doling out money for what? It's we've seen, at least in Nigeria, for instance, a few years ago, we saw what palliative did.
Yes.
It does not work. It doesn't work anywhere. You know, I have prayed a prayer which I know the prayer may not be answered or is not be answered. I have prayed that this oil of a thing or crude, it should get finished in Nigeria. Let's see, because from while I was young, very young, they've always said diversify the economy. I think if I'm not mistaken, everybody on this panel watch football.
Yes.
Just imagine what Premiership is bringing to the UK government. What basketball is bringing to the American government. And it's not just the government, everyone in the society somehow benefits from it. Look at our NFA. I stay in Warri. Look at the DSC, data state company, which is now premium still. I had let me call it a senior bro in that language that worked there at the time. He said DSC can do anything that is metal. And I studied mining engineering. Itakpe, Ajakuta, what are they doing? Nothing. Like my brother said, every state in this country, every state has a mineral that is sellable anywhere in the world and can turn into the economy fortunes. So giving people money or giving state government money, it will still go into the hands of some people that don't even know their left from their right. And it will go into the thin air. So I think that is a very wrong step. They should retrace their step and think of how to diversify because the refineries, if they work, several things will not happen in our society.
That's true.
Yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I saw a farmer in Nasarawa, for instance. He was attacked by these cattle headers because he told them to take their cattle out of his farm. They chop off his hand. Terrible, very gory scene. And that is part of the agenda of these so-called food scarcity people. So there's so much the government can do. That's just diversify the economy. There's sports there to reap a lot from.
That's true.
There's agriculture to reap a lot from. So I think that giving out money to government, it's out of it. Make the refineries work. Make agriculture work. Make sports work.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
Julius.
you. All no go
Several
finish,
things will
but
just fall
we'll
into
continue
place.
to diversify.
Yes.
Deoye, your response,
Yes.
please.
Yes. Thanks for that. Again, my brother from. I really appreciate my brother from another mother and of the same body of Christ. I appreciate that. You see, we now have a whole minister of steel, mines, and power. What is in ministry on top of? I'm sorry. I've been trying not to be cynical of the government because people say my comments are too acidic. I'm a perceived as opposition. I say I'm just a student of politics and good governance and economics globally, and I don't care for whose party is in power. Give us good governance. That's my own.
Yeah.
And you see, you see, we have whole. I don't know whether you been to Dubai, the desert safari. When I got there, because I've been opportunity to travel across the northern part of Nigeria, I was a project manager. I traveled around. When I wanted to cry when we went for this, I had to pay maybe $200 or something to go and look at sand. I mean, I won't say Yoruba, and then I was driving, and then we galloped inside sound. I said, "Come to
Deoye,
Sokoto."
a second, please. Daniel from Ogun State. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, flight.
Please
crew.
go on, sir.
Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for what you guys are doing. I decided to call to participate because the topic is an interesting one. My regards to my brother calling from UK too. I want to differ from one of the things he said, even though I don't think that's is a right place to start off from. But he said that the people gave the present government the mandates. I beg to differ. Having said that, for me, it's not shocking that the government is doling that money, as palliatives. I choose to call it palliative, not palliatives. My reason being that the present government is a government we know their background, where they are coming from. The idea is that syndrome of Owoda. So they think every one of us is out there to beg. So if you can give us ₦1, then we'll come down and go and relax. Why not channel this money to the economy and make the standard of living better for every for the people you came to serve? If actually you came to serve, I mean, it's amazing. I don't know. It's absurd. Palliative for which he said, is it for what? No, is it for what? What for? It doesn't make any sense. And sometimes I don't even bother talking about Nigeria because we all know where things are going and where they are coming from. So it's the same story. It has always been the same story. So they never came to serve anyway because they came for their turn. So it's obvious. The man said, sorry. Somebody said he will hit the ground running. And he actually came hit the ground running. Running to where? To the wrong direction.
It's well.
Imagine somebody collecting a baton in a relay race and then you take off to the opposite direction. That's exactly what's happening. I'm not trying to sound yes, I may sound like a critic, but I'm a very blunt person. So let it not be surprised to us, because this is the just like the ministers you seen the ministers they named or that they chose. These things are well orchestrated, not to favor the people, but favor themselves. So, my brothers and sisters, I thank you for what you're doing, but sometimes we just have to tell ourselves the honest truth.
As well.
Thank you so much.
So
so
the
much.
palliative is for those who will pocket it as it has always been. Like my brother from UK said earlier. God bless you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Dale, your last words now.
Daniel, I had to not try. I had to try not to laugh too hard, but Daniel is actually very right. In behavioral economics, I mean, how don't give us handouts. My last words.
Yeah.
When you have a minister like Federal Minister of Steel, Mines and Power, where is the steel? Where is the mines? Maybe Minister of Power. So we should call him Minister of Power, but steel and mines. I don't know how that's part of his portfolio. We have enough in this country to turn this country around in about 4 years maximum. Minimum, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
There is enough human capital, there is enough mineral resources. We have also the capital to invest, and the power of government and governance should go into international negotiations with the organizations and the entities that can make things happen in 24 months to 4 years. The deeper, the troublesome area is behavioral economics. How do you change the habits like corruption? How do you change habits like impunity? How do you change habits like reducing governance? Because it's become a bad habit.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy for the president to say he wants to take out the money of ministers and senators. They will order him, they will do something to him. He won't like. There are people who had waited, people are investing in it. What are you doing as a senator or whatever for almost 24 years? How can you be there for 4 years, 24 years? That's 6 tenors. What's going on? Do you want to become the agent of days on the place? Go home. Let it just be governance and governance. Make it professional. Let people that are ready to govern the country go there. Then let's regionalize. Let's take everything back to the regions and deglotarize for growth. This one that we are all posting all resources in central post and they're handing us palliative, and like Daniel called it palliative, you know. I mean, that's the house that is always ramshackle. But it's okay. There are a lot of poor people and the government is responding to stimulus. This is a very positive one for me. They're at least doing something, you know. The hope is that they will get it right very soon before the patient dies. And at least this is the way I'm looking at them. At least thank God they are responding. My last call again is to Mr. President. After now, what next? You're going to do 4 years, 8 years. What's going to happen? Are you going to be the one we have been waiting for? Or your name will go down in history and as another man who sat in the rock and the people still groaned and suffered? The question, I think, who asked the question to John the Baptist? He said, are you the one we are waiting for? Or should we wait for another?
Deoye,
Because you are sounding like desire.
Deoye,
That is my question to Mr. President and all his cronies.
thank you so much for joining us on the program.
you so much.
Be rest assured that we'll have you on Tuesday next week,
Yeah.
where we'll dissect the ministers who've been given portfolios, and we'll talk about all the steel and mines and power